Here it is, medium male from Philadelphia. See how I did that with the lights? He wrote me this cool letter, and thanks for being a great friend. Shaun and I are friends. He's my vinyl community bestie. That's a thing. He's a great friend anyway. Besides vinyl community. It's cool how you meet people doing these videos. Anyhow, he said, Sunny Day Real Estate is a far better band than Foo Fighters.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
And thank you so much to Shaun for Diary by Sunny Day Real Estate. This is an amazing freaking album. And while we may not agree on the Foo Fighters, sorry, got a little cold in here. I could agree that this debut album by Sunny Day Real Estate, amazing album.
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Seattle. Seattle's like my phantom limb.
Debut album by the Foo Fighters. This is all Dave Grohl, by the way. This is an interesting relational paradigm. So Dave Grohl played all the instruments and created this work and had a certain vision towards what the Foo Fighters are compared to what the relational capacity of what this album is and came to be. I would call this a way better debut album than Dave's, you know. And of course, Dave, as a creative person going through a thing at the time, which we can all understand as the drummer for Nirvana in 1995, but these guys did something else. I'm a big fan of both of those records and both of those bands. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah, just busted this open this morning. Still in the shrink and everything. Was spinning that for a couple of days now. It's a great album. Better than the Foo Fighters? That's just your opinion, man. I don't know. I like Sunny Day Real Estate. I'm a big fan. They're a Seattle band. William Goldsmith was a drummer for Foo Fighters originally. It's a weird contention. He left the band, was fired from the band. I don't know. I quit. You can't fire me. One of those things. It's a weird story, and then Grohl is, I don't know, it's not, I don't know if they made up yet. There's been stories about that, or whether they're talking or not. This is, I got a copy of Murph.
We need a self-sufficient law enforcement robot.
How long will it take?
We can go to prototype within 90 days.
Where are you from?
Metro South.
Welcome to hell.
You're gonna be a bad mother.
Man.
This guy is really good.
Machine.
RoboCop. What is he?
He's a cyborg, you idiot.
All hero.
What are your prime directives?
Protect the innocent. Let the woman go, or there will be trouble. Uphold the law. You are under arrest.
What is this shit?
Justice gets an upgrade.
Looking for me? Your move, creep.
Got a little Murph in me. If you don't know what Murph is, you have to check it out. Shaun's got a great channel. I'll put a link in the description. You got to check out his channel. It's our washing machine. Shaun is almost to 300 subscribers. Let's get Shaun to 300 subscribers, people. Come on. Whitney Houston, 45. 45. He got a 45 for Dana. Dana as well, because Dana's a big. Whitney Houston fan, and he found her one of those.
Thank you, Shaun.
Dana says, thank you, Shaun. Very cool. Found that for Dana. This is, I don't know if I can show this without getting flagged or something. Surfboard. Let me see if I can cross that out. It's a punk band that God, Shaun telling me through a hard time. He talks about it in one of his videos. Okay. This one may have had a quality control issue. I wasn't able to play it that side. But yeah, I'll have to check them out on the streamer. Thank you, Shaun of Shaun Spins, for the VCLT. Appreciate you. And that's it. Those are the records I got. Again, thanks. Thank you so much, Shaun, for sending those. Appreciate that. You're awesome. And if you come up this summer, this is what's going on at the big Mopop Museum.
Well, this week marked 30 years since legendary grunge artist Kurt Cobain died. One of the best ways to see Cobain's legacy is to visit the exhibit at Mopop titled Nirvana, Taking Punk to the Masses. Fox 13's John Hopperstedt got a look at the exhibit.
Well, Jacob, tell me, what kind of experience do people get when they come in here and check out this exhibit?
Well, we're really trying to create the story of Nirvana, but couching it within what was happening in the Pacific Northwest and really kind of the wider world from the rise of hardcore punk rock on. So like a big context to thing that's, you know, Nirvana wasn't, you know, the only band that was happening. It wasn't happening in a vacuum. Nirvana was the right band at the right place, you know, that was standing on the shoulders of dozens of other bands that had, you know, made efforts into the mainstream over time. So really trying to give that wide context.
Here, I mean, I'm seeing some iconic stuff just right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're looking at one of the stage angels from the In Utero tour. There were 2 of those. They received lots of abuse over the length of the tour. You can kind of see that in there. Got some saran wrap keeping the guts of the angel in. But yeah, I mean, it really is the largest collection of Nirvana memorabilia in one place in the world. And, you know, tracing that history back to before there was a Nirvana through the band's 7-year history, and that idea of, you know, these kids that didn't have a lot of opportunity, but with a lot of talent and luck and ambition, they became the biggest band in the world.
Yeah, and they really changed music at the time, too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one can argue that, you know, the rise of grunge and alternative rock is probably the last true innovation in rock and roll that has happened. You know, that everything since then has kind of been a rehash of things.
Some people that walk through that door may just think they're going to see a couple guitars, maybe one of his famous sweaters. So what's the reaction when people come through and see all that you have here?
I mean, you definitely get a sense of that people are coming as a pilgrimage almost. I mean, we only planned to have this exhibit open for about 1.5 years when we launched in 2011, and it's been up for 13 years. And it's something where fascinating for me to come into the gallery and see those people that are, you know, really palpably feeling like they're close to their, you know, their idol or their, you know, this band that meant so much to them. So it's really gratifying. And for me, it's like I really wanted to tell this sort of humanistic story. You know, I think that Cobain story is a lot of, you know, tragic elements of it, but I think it's also a very aspirational story of this idea that, you know, these guys, you know, for just a brief time became the biggest band in the world.
They did, and there was a lot of fun with these guys too, right? We see it in the t-shirts and the posters, and what I love too is you've literally got the first guitar that Kurt ever broke on stage, right?
Absolutely.
And that's not the only one here.
Yeah, lots of broken guitars. But yeah, I mean, Kurt, you know, smashed that guitar in Halloween of 1988 at the Evergreen State College in a dorm, you know, complex, and maybe 50 people in the audience, and it was his, you know, only guitar at the time. I mean, he could hardly pay rent, much less, you know, buy another guitar, but for whatever reason, he decided to smash that, and what I love about it is that somebody in the audience was so psyched about this tiny little band that not a lot of people knew at the time, and they kept that guitar for 15 years before we acquired it. So that connection between the band and the fans, you know, is really meaningful.
And you mentioned the idea was not to have this be some kind of permanent exhibit at Mopop, right? But do you foresee that something around Nirvana and Kurt Cobain is always going to be a part of this place?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I don't know that we could have a museum dedicated to music and pop culture in Seattle and not have something related to Nirvana, to grunge, to that, you know, that period of time in Seattle where, you know, the media all around the world suddenly looked to Seattle about what was coming next.
Thanks for watching, and here's a preview of upcoming videos from our 35th anniversary trip to the ocean, to the coast. Gotta keep it, gotta have some fun. High voltage records, Dana. High voltage. Pretty sweet. Oh, hey.
Is it this one? There's different addresses.
There is?
Oh, I guess it is this one.
What's the whole thing? Books, records. Wow, look at that. Yep, that's the Smokey Bear. Look at Dana. Eargasm. This car is just ridiculous. It says open. Is it open? Slayer. I'm gonna have to get that.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.